All right, it seems like the summer's flying by. Memorial Day, 4th of July, rearview mirror. We got a month and a half till Labor Day.
Yeah.
So you know there's still plenty of summertime weather ahead of us, and like many folks in the area, I'm planning a getaway this summer to our beautiful Lake Erie Islands.
Dan, right now on South Bass Island, Jeep enthusiasts are gathering in preparation for tomorrow's Jeep show. That's the main attraction of this year's 9th annual Put-in-Bay Jeep Invasion.
For generations, the islands have been known as a great place to escape the heat of the summer, to gather with friends, gather your Jeeps, maybe even enjoy a cocktail or two. But the Lake Erie Islands are also rich in history and geological wonders. Back in July 1986, my old friend Toledo 11's Amy Ashcroft hit the water to give us a peek at everything the islands have to offer.
They come from Toledo, Detroit, Cleveland, and all points in between. From bass boats to sprawling yachts, it's bumper to bumper on the docks. But nobody seems to mind the close quarters here. This isn't your conventional vacation, it's
the islands. The islands, it's just party atmosphere.
Spin a few records, add a few oversized mugs of beer, and what do you have? An adult sock hop. Turn on the camera, and it brings out the Star Search hopefuls. When the wine, women, and song wear thin, it's time to slow the pace and enjoy the islands for what they really are, rich sources of history and geological wonders. There are 4 main islands, South, Middle, and North Bass, and Kelly's. 3 ferry lines departing from Port Clinton, Catawba Point, and Marblehead make daily runs from early spring to late fall.
I don't think that people are aware of the historic significance of the islands, though. I don't think it's been played up like it has been played up in many, many areas.
We're now 312 feet above Lake Erie on Perry's Monument, where even on a hazy day you can see for miles. Here you can learn the historical significance of Commodore Perry's victory over the British in 1813.
We have met the enemy, and they are ours. So wrote Oliver Hazard Perry.
Every year, thousands of people take the 50-cent elevator ride to the top of Perry's Monument. While the bird's eye view is certainly the main attraction, the third tallest national monument reminds us that less than 200 years ago, our area was an embittered battleground.
If it hadn't been for Perry, we might be Canada today. Not only the islands, but Toledo and Cleveland, and maybe a good portion of this part of the country.
Civil unrest returned in the 1860s. Johnson's Island in Sandusky Bay is the final resting place for more than 200 Southern Civil War soldiers. At one time, 2,500 Confederate prisoners were held in a primitive prison camp here, but that no longer stands. Keeping the past alive is what Russ Irvin does best. The owner of a Put-in-Bay antique and curio shop, he's also the president of the Lake Erie Islands Historical Society.
Well, I think the turn of the century was probably the most exciting for Put-in-Bay. The boats would bring sometimes 2,000 or 3,000 people at a time. Not uncommon to see 3 or 4 of these large 200-foot boats docked right down here at the end of the street.
Irvin's shop is also a temporary home for the Society's museum. Donations of money and island artifacts are paving the way for a full-fledged museum next year. Before man ever set foot on the islands, there were the glaciers. On Kelly's Island, these grooves carved out by a prehistoric glacier have been a source of amazement and scientific study for years. Some geological experts say these are the best example in the world of a glacier's work. Kelly's also boasts of Inscription Rock, a natural monument that bears the scratchings of an ancient Indian tribe.
We know that there were Indians out here on the islands. They have found artifacts. They have found some burial mounds.
Time has nearly obliterated the surface, but a replica of the inscriptions show what the rock once looked like. Unfortunately, the message's meaning died with its writers.
Watch your step!
52 feet underground, it's dark, cold, and not the kind of place you'd want to stay very long. This is Perry's Cave, one of 2 caves on South Bass Island. Legend has it that Commodore Perry made the discovery, but most historians doubt that.
It's connected to Lake Erie and it rises and falls with the same level. Right now the water's pretty high in Lake Erie, so this water's high.
The water stays a chilly 42 degrees year-round. Marine life can't survive because there's so little oxygen in the water. From the glacial grooves and inscription rock on Kelly's Island to Johnson's Island Confederate Cemetery and the ever-popular Perry's Monument. Amy Ashcroft, Toledo 11 News.
How interesting. Dan, you usually get out to the islands in
At
the
least
summertime.
once. I like to go twice in the
Have you
summertime.
been yet?
Have not been this
Oh.
year. I want to wait till it warms up this summer. It's a little. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. No, we just haven't. Try to
Haven't
get
found a
all the
weekend
ducks
yet.
in a row.
Yeah.
We like to go with some friends and make sure they're free to go. But
Well, you better get
we
some
love
on the
going.
calendar.
You can't beat at Beer Barrel Saloon. You can't beat the strawberry vodka shots.
Well, you
Little
heard it
little
from
tip from Dan there.
little tip. Hey, you know what I thought was super interesting? She mentioned it costs 50 cents to take the elevator up to the top of the monument. And we're like, how much does it cost now? Thanks to our producer, she Googled that for us. $10 now.
How about that?
Yeah, I
What's neat
believe
about
it.
these pieces, by the way, is seeing, I've been here since 1980, 44 years at Channel 11, and all these are really neat to see people that I've worked with. They're just great
Yeah.
people. Amy Ashcroft, her husband Rick, we played softball many years, great people.
Very cool to
Yeah.
flashback like that.
All right, Amanda, that was only a portion of Amy's 4-part series on Lake Erie Islands from back in the summer of 1986. If you'd like to watch the entire series, it's all available to view right now. It's in the vault. Go to the WTOL 11 YouTube page. Click on the WTOL 11 Vault playlist.
Lots to see there.